It's good too for us because we had another class with Dr. Barnes last semester and looking at Truth and Reconciliation Commissions. Primarily we focused on Africa and South Africa and Rwanda, Sierra Leone and Liberia. And, you know, at the end of the semester we all wrote term papers, and, you know, we kind of got together afterwards with Dr. Barnes and talked about how, you know, what are the other ways that we can use our knowledge and the information that we've gained last semester and all the discussions we had to create a kind of product, a different kind of product, and, you know, kind of move outside of the classroom walls. And so I think that making a documentary, especially talking to the local Congolese community, is a great way to approach the topic.
The purpose of this is for you guys to reflect on just quickly on some of the things that you learned by doing these interviews, and the things that you found surprising, maybe, and the things that, yeah, that's what the purpose is.
I guess when he went into detail and was describing some of the events that were occurring, I guess my reaction is a little bit different than Rebecca's. I felt that it was too much to process. I felt a sort of like a numbness where it's what he was describing with the experiences were just at the particular moment where I was. It was too much for me to fully like either live it or experience. So I had to. It was a process like, similar to what you say, where I had to disassociate myself. I couldn't feel it. I mean, that was pretty surprising. You think I'm gonna interview the person, I'm gonna get these details, but the effect that it could have on the person interviewing was something I wasn't expecting. So I mean, and it stayed with me after the interview. It wasn't like this is something I had like the rest of the day. You know, this feeling of.
Is that, you know, being African and talking to these African women, it's like I'm here, you know, in a nation that's literally pushing for me to forget while another is praying for me to remember. You know, so it's just straddling that line. It's like I wake up and I'm like, oh, everything's okay, but, you know, one of the interviewees said Congo is the center. Eventually it's going to spread and slowly start to destroy all African countries. And, you know, having family back at home, I think it made reality. It really, this is my reality. So it was very, very powerful. And as small as we felt, we still have a significant role to play. And I think this documentary is definitely a step closer in the right direction.
Can you say a little bit more about some things are pushing you to remember and other things are pushing you to forget?
Well, this is a personal kind of struggle that, you know, I deal with. I wake up every day and it's like, oh, are you African? Are you African American? You know, I talk to my mom and all these memories come back, but here it's like you don't have time to process and really think about what's going on. Well, I don't have time to really process what's going on in my homeland. You know, like people are dying every day in Congo. People are dying every day in Ghana. People are dying every day in Nigeria due to some things that the United States is responsible for. But being part of the United States and living here, you have to kind of forget, but then you talk to the people back home and they pray every day that you remember what's going on.
During the interview, in an effort to not make it like a drill, question 1, thank you very much, question 2, thank you very much, good answer, question 3, interesting, was we tried to kind of make it into a conversation more. So the person would answer question 1, and often it would flow into other questions, and you know, we would say something. We would say something natural. You know, I really appreciate.
You're a human being and you're saying something.
Like, we would say,
listening to what you're saying.
Maybe we would respond to something.
Anything we could have added in our questionnaire, you know, and one of the women said, is this just for graduation? Is this just for, you know, a class project and you're done? You know, and we said, no, it's, you know, we feel that it's something larger to actually get people's perspectives instead of, like you said, we can just read about it. We can read articles, tons of articles or books, but to actually hear from people who have lived it and have, everyday people's voices, recorded about their experiences, I think is something, because not everybody has time to publish, so
I think
something
We're all
small.
brothers and sisters on this very small planet together, and that we've given over the planet to transnational corporations. The governments don't control the transnational corporations. It's the other way. The transnational corporations are in control of the government, and they're in control of the intergovernmental organizations, including the UN. We have the evidence. This is not a kooky assertion. This is what's happened, and we, the people of this earth, have to see, just like, you're reading Anne Frank and you're in the 7th grade and you love Anne Frank and you never would have let that happen to her. Well, now maybe you're watching this video and you're seeing these men and women talking about the atrocities that are being perpetrated on them, so that you can have the cell phone and the video camera that has coltan in it.
Right.
You're seeing it now. This is your chance to, share your cookies with Anne Frank. This is it. These are your brothers and sisters. This is it.
This is our history. To refuse to address this legacy of violence in this education system is like to refuse the history of our country, to refuse ourselves.
Mame, tolingana, iye mame, tolingana. Tovandi na mokili kasi toza ya mokili te. Tovandi awa na se biso nyonso se baleki nzela. Tovandi na mokili toza ya mokili te. Tovandi awa na se biso nyonso se baleki nzela. Bongisa ezaleli na yo tango zali na bomo. Mame, soki okufi lelo makambo nyonso ekobaluka. Bongisa etamboli na yo tango za na pema. Sima ya liwa makambo nyonso ebongwanaka. Tosa mibeko zomi Yesu atikelaki biso. Linga moninga na yo ndenge omilingaka Tosa mibeko zomi Yesu atikelaki biso. Linga moninga na yo ndenge omilingaka. Bolingo bolingo, eloko nini bolingo eleki nyonso ya. Bolingo, yango nde nini bolingo yango nde kisi ya mabe. Mame,